What about your deal? I know Daytona, you had a pretty serious deal.
Oh, man, I did. I was coming out of turn 4, and we were a lap down, and we were trying to get a lap back. Been trying and trying and trying. Couldn't get a lap back, Come around there and looked like I had a pretty good shot at it, and all of a sudden the track got real crowded, and there wasn't no place to go, and I was running about 180 mile an hour, and everybody else running about 140. So I come off a corner, and Dick Brooks was leading the race, and I saw that I didn't have anywhere to go, and so I was going to try to slow down. Well, as you come off of 4, as you know, the tunnel's there and the bump. Came off of 4, and I was trying to slow down. I had the brakes on a little bit. Might have had them on a whole lot. I don't remember. But I had the brakes on. And I come across that bump, and when I did with the brakes on just a little bit, the car got loose with me. And that was before they moved the wall and done all that fixing they did to turn 4. It was just grass. Lord of mercy, that thing turned around, and there wasn't nothing I could do. The next thing I know, I'm going backwards. If I thinking back about it, if I'd have just laid back and relaxed, probably wouldn't have hurt me. But I remember the faster backwards I went, the further over I kept leaning on over. And when I hit that fence on the inside, well, it just throwed my whole body, my head and all backwards, and I hit my head over on the roll cage and knocked myself out. Went all bouncing out in the racetrack, but I didn't know all that. But the funny thing is, I'm laying there I was laying there on the stretcher, and Jeff Hammond and all of them was running down there to see if I was all right and what was wrong with me. Well, when I come to, they had put a bunch of stay dry down to soak up the oil and stuff, and the cars were going by and they were blowing stay dry all over me. And I grabbed Jeff. I said, "That's what happened, Jeff. It's raining." It's raining, and I got in the water.
No excuse.
I just laid on back out. I know what happened. But that was a tough deal, and I spent the night in the hospital and had a concussion. And the funny thing it's funny now, I went to the next couple of races and didn't really remember going. I went to Richmond, Virginia, and raced, and I think we did pretty good. I don't remember, but I went to Richmond, Virginia, and I run that race, and I didn't even know I'd been to Richmond, Virginia.
That must have been the time me and you got into it. I know you tried to forget for some reason.
And actually went to Rockingham another week later, and didn't really remember that much about Rockingham, but if you recall, Rockingham got rained out that year about 100 miles into the race. Yeah. 100 and so miles into the race, so we got another week off, and by the time we went back,
you woke up,
I was awake. That was the good thing about my deal was, when I hit that wall, it knocked me out. Mm-hmm. So, people say, well, every time you go to Daytona now, don't you think about that terrible crash? Well, I've seen it on tape, and I know what happened, but no, I can't think about it. I don't remember how bad it was or how serious it was because I was knocked out.
It's the same way I'm about the Darlington wreck. You see it, and it really looks terrible.
Yeah.
But I said, hey, I wasn't even in there. I was out as quick as it hit the wall. That was it. I don't remember anything then until after it was all over with. So, good Lord's got a way of blocking that stuff out. Otherwise,
I always thought that was a blessing.
Screaming.
You're right. That's the best thing that ever happened to you.
It was.
When you hit the wall and came back across, I was coming at you about 200 miles an hour and missed you about that far. So you'd have died of a heart attack if you hadn't been there.
Well, if it hadn't been raining, all that wouldn't have happened. Ask Cale about Michigan. Me and him had a pretty good little go with Michigan one time.
You mean when the race was over?
Yeah. You in the race or after the race?
They crashed after the race.
No, we almost.
During the race.
He didn't. I missed him.
You made a pass at him.
This was really. No, I'm gonna. Let me tell it. I'll tell you how it was, and he can tell you how it used to be. But it was come down, and I was driving Junior's car, and I think it's the first year I drove Junior's car. So here I am. Might know I'd have to be in a race with Cale, because everywhere I went, well,
he just left Junior's car.
Yeah, he just left the car, and so here I got to try to uphold my honor. I got to try to beat this kid. So we come down to the last lap, when it's just me and him, and we've been dicing back and forth and monkeying around, and so we come down the back straightaway, and I think I was on the outside. I'm not trying to. I come down that back straightaway, and he dives to the inside, and he gets about right along there on me. I think he hit me, but he said he didn't. So I left it up to him. But anyway, I went all the way up and about knocked the wall down, and he went on and won the race. Well, I'm coming hard as I know how to come, and he's shaking his fist at me. He's done won the damn race, and I'm mad because he almost wrecked me, and he did win the race, and I ran second. I said, and he's shaking his fist at me. I said, boy, if I ever catch up with you. So here I come, hard as I can go, and fortunately he kept going a little bit quicker than he maybe normally would have. And finally, when I got right to him, I was just about ready to nail him. A light came on and said, this is the dumbest thing you've ever done.
The race was over now.
The race is over, and we're down in the first turn. And so all of a sudden I said, oh my God, I can't do that. And I slammed on the brakes and spun out and got hung up in the mud. Totally missed him. Just went down in the mud and spun out and hung up there. I sat in the mud. And that was on TV, and they showed me down there spinning in the mud, you know.
And he thought I was waving fist at him. I was just waving at him.
He wasn't either. But let me tell you.